Hello everybody, I'm SJM, and as we near the end of our journey into the Betweenlands here, I've decided to get some upgraded equipment in the Ashen Armor, and also want to get today to see if we can't figure out these elixirs. We've been doing some experimenting and failures already off camera, so hopefully on camera we get a success. So I was going through the book, and the only thing that really interested me insofar is all of the potions for, for actually using, like healing might be nice, but we've got the healing staff, we've got those smoked crab sticks, so hopefully that should do us for that. But maybe it might be handy to have an elixir of strength. So the elixir of strength tells us that we need a combination of Azuin and Ordanese. And blah blah blah. If we use more Azuin, we get a stronger elixir. If we use more Ordanese, we get a longer lasting. And then if we add this Biaris element, then that adds in the that reverses the potion effect. So instead of giving us stronger attacks, it will reduce our damage output, which reduces one's damage output. So yeah, the scrolling on this book is weird. It's reversed, but that's I'm starting to get used to it, but not fully by any stretch of the imagination. So I went into here, went down to, we need Azuin, so it's found in cattails, iris, kelp, thorns, ground leaf, and I did the same for the other one, for the Ordanese, all this stuff. Every single ingredient for both the Ordanese and for the Azuin. I can't go to it there, but I can probably find it. So let's, for example, we'll look at the ground weedwood bark. So this has our Ordanese. It has Yoin, which wouldn't be pertinent to the strength potion that we're going to make, but it does have this corruption element to it. And similarly, every single one that I've found so far, obviously I haven't done them all yet, like I got quite a few ingredients to go through yet to research, but every single one that I've found so far does have this stupid Biaris in it. So I can't just use 2 pieces of the ground ingredient raw in my infuser to get the ingredient. But what I'm hoping that I can do is that I can take some Ordanese, because I can extract the elements out and put them in these individual jars, and then combine it with the Azuin and do that in the alembic, and come out with the strength potion itself. So I did my first test. I just extracted one unit, or one ground piece of each into a jar. So I ended up with I think it was 0.44 of this and 0.13 or 0.26, something like that of the other one. I can't remember which one was which. But I put them both in there with a bucket of water, and all it spit back out at me was the same ones again, but with much reduced amounts of them. So I lost on it. So I'm guessing we need at least 1 unit of each to go in to be able to make the elixir. So I do need to grind out a little bit more of this Azuin, and we'll do that part on camera, and then we'll do the other test, which is combining these two in the pot to make our thing. Just a note that in here, this ground cattail, I tried putting this stuff in. So this has ordanis, azuin, and buralis. So this actually has both of the things that we're looking for. But it also has this, so it would make the corrupted version of the potion. But every time I put cattail in here, it ended up going to rot, and it wouldn't let me pull out anything from it at all. And it ended up turning into a poison cloud that chased after me, and like a shallow breath type of enemy. So don't do that. The other thing that I found out is that this infuser can hold up to 3 buckets worth and up to 6 items of a ground substance, up to 6 total. But you can only take 1 bucket at a time into each alembic. So if you want to do mass quantities, you're going to need probably 3 alembics, definitely at least 2 or multiple buckets, so that you can pull out the liquid from this. Because if you leave the liquid in there after mixing it, after you get either your potion or your individual elements, whatever you're going for there, if you leave it in there, again, that will turn into the poison cloud, which will chase you around and try to kill you. All right, with all that aside, I need to get some swamp kelp. So I'm going to go gather that up, and I'll be back when we're ready to brew. All right, so I got my... Oh, maybe that's why I couldn't pull it out before, is I had my shield on. Anyways, yeah, I infused 6 ground swamp kelp in there. Now we'll pop it into the alembic. That needs to do its thing, but we can talk about a couple of things, I guess. So the ashen set of armor required 16 total ashen fabric to get it together. 1 silk bundle and like 10 dawnstone, I think, altogether. Wasn't too hard to do, especially once we got the proper recipe figured out for the ashen fabric. It was just using up all of the ash that we had. So to date, just doing a little bit of the Camonite blend, maybe 4 or 5 recipes, plus just this 1 set of ashen gear, so the 16, so the 8 recipes of the ashen fabric. I went through about 300 ash. Then the other thing I went ahead and made, because I wanted to check it out, is the inflictor gem. Apparently, if we attune it to a kind of damage, we can get some damage reduction. So I haven't even taken any damage since I got it, but I'd like to get that attuned up to physical damage. And then apparently we attach it to our cloak with some string, and that will, give us some damage reduction. I'm too poor right now to try to go for 7 inflictor gems, but I'd like to do 1 and just test it out to see how it all works. And of course, you do have to have all of the pieces on, so it's not going to be so good for exploring, because I always want to wear my rubber boots while I'm running around in the world. But we can also take our little froggy mounts as well, and make sure you're wearing the whole set, because if you don't have the whole set on, the inflictor gems don't do anything according to the quest book there. The other thing, so each of these Dentrifist vials will hold up to 5 units of any particular aspect. And we can see here I've got this one already full of this garbage, but if you just craft it with itself, you can get your vial back out of it. and get rid of it. So that's the way to void that stuff if you don't have any use for it at all, because I could imagine if you wanted to, you could set up an entire room full of all of these things for each of these aspects that we've got, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 different aspects all together if you ended up going that route with having them all there. And I can't remember if I showed that when I went for the white heart or not. Not the white heart, the mummy bait, sorry. Where have I hidden that guy away now? But this required some of the Armanis aspect, which I just did in the exact similar way that we're doing this now. You hear some spooky sounds in my base. I now have extra spooky sounds just to make sure that I'm on my toes. It got to me at first because I totally forgot I did this, but I planted down my spirit tree. So this is the guy that's making all the spooky sounds around here. And like I said, I'm like, what is this sound now? What is going on out there? What new thing have I unlocked now that I've gotten to the end of whatever section? But this little guy's pretty handy because if any enemies come trotting through here trying to get to me, he'll spit sap at them. So it's kind of handy in that way. And then the other thing that we can do with him is we can get sap spit out of him. And that's with ground dried swamp reed. And also this ground dried swamp weed is essentially the bone meal in the Betweenlands. I totally didn't know this until just recently, so I would have used it earlier, maybe trying to grow some of my plants. But now that I do know it, you just have to I swear if you gave him that, you got swamp spit out of it. Or sap spit, sorry. Maybe it's this stuff. Compost. Well, he took the one piece of compost, but he didn't release any sap spit. Anyway, not too concerned about that really. Just put that away for now. So we use our vial on there. We'll get some yo in, and we get some azo in. We just hold right click on there and it'll put it in there for us. The yo in I've got over here. And there's going to be some of the garbage in there. Viralis. We end up with so much of that garbage. I'm just not saving any of it for now. And yeah, you can't pick these up easily. You can shuffle them around. To get them, we've got to break the vials. We'll throw one bucket in there. Wait till this starts boiling up, then we'll throw these guys in. And then shortly thereafter, hopefully we get an elixir of strength. So the only other thing that I've done to prepare for this upcoming fight, I did make some smoked crab sticks. Maybe I should make some more, I guess. I only needed 9. We can hear our tree out there fighting for us. What? Oh, wait. Aha. That was one of those tame Chiroma riders, is what that was. When you kill one of the tame Chiroma riders, then the little guy on the back, he jumps off and he's got a little volar kite and he rides it down to the surface and then disappears like one of the music guys. Ah, and I was distracted and that boiled away. Yeah, you can't leave this once you put some water in there. You got about 15 to maybe 20 seconds to be able to put your ingredients in before the water evaporates away on you. That was the last thing I wanted to go over with this, but now that we've talked about all that, I'll put this on a pause, let this all brew up, and then when it's done, we'll come back and is it even working yet? I can see the bubbles, but I thought I could hear the boiling a little bit easier than that. Just shift and right click, you can pull the things out. Okay, we got our 2 empty vials back. Infusion bucket with those 2 things. So I don't think, because I would imagine this would say an elixir there, but we'll go through this and see what happens. And while this is going on, I've been doing my manual farming here. In the other episode when we talked about the grub hub, we took 16 of these pheromones and we ended up getting 20 silkworms out of it. But if you do it in the bush manually, you get 2 silkworms for each pheromone that you put in. So that's actually quite a bit of loss if you're not too busy to do this stuff manually. So I did a few rounds manually, and then when I figured that out, I'm like, no, I think maybe we'll just do this manually, especially while we're doing all this brewing. I can just kind of look at my alembic from there and keep my eye on it over here, because we want to capture the silkworms before they actually go into their cocoons. Because if they go into their cocoons, you end up with just 2 silk out of it. But if you put the silkworms into the moth house, you can get up to 3 for each. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3. And I haven't really correlated it exactly, but I think it's a little bit time-based, but I'm not 100% sure on that. All right, now we can throw this on a pause till this guy's done brewing up, and we'll bring you back for hopefully an elixir of strength. Okay, it looks like it's finished. So let's cross our fingers and hope we get it, what we were looking for out of it. Nope. Nope, we ended up just losing everything. Frustrating, but that's the way it is. I'm giving up on doing any of this elixir stuff. If you've got any hints for me, maybe we have to really search through this book and get all of the ingredients done. And maybe in there we'll find, you know, 2 ingredients that aren't linked to the corruption aspect that we can use to make the elixir, the strength elixir that we're looking for. But yeah, I'm giving up on that for now. I guess we could see if we could take some physical damage from somewhere and see if we can't trigger this gem and attach it onto our cape. Nothing changes with that there. But it should be attuned to some physical damage now. If that's even a thing. Like, it might not even be something that you can attune it to. It seems kind of broken, but not sure, but it's on there. We've done it. Wish it would show somewhere that you've got one on there. Oh yeah, it does show there. In the bottom left, we've got a 1 inflictor gem inserted there. Neat. All right, I guess it's about time. Gonna grab my mummy bait and head off to the peat swamp. I've got 2 that are about the same distance away. I think I might come down to this one because it's actually fresher and there's other things that I could look for down there. But I'll be doing a little bit of terraforming to kind of make a place to fight. And I've got a trick up my sleeve too. Hopefully that works out, but we'll see what happens when we get there and we try it out, if it works or not. Anyways, that's it for this episode, the failed elixir experiments. And yeah, next time we'll come back with something a little bit more dangerous. Anyways, I appreciate you all for checking out the episodes, and we will see you in the next one.